Hello and welcome. I am Cy with Things Very Good, and today we're going into a 2-day beef only eating challenge. That's all I'm going to eat, exclusively beef, no salt, no pepper, no seasoning, only water and beef, and if I want to I can have ginger or rooibos tea. Now I'm coming into this off of 8 days of 2-day challenges. So before this I've only eaten a single food for 2 days back to back with 4 different challenges, and so far all of those foods have been plant-based. So now we're going into the first meat food or animal food, which is beef, and we're going to see how that affects us and how the essence of beef makes the body feel and the mind feel over the next 2 days. Now, if you want to get the full context of how this all started and why I'm doing this, please check out my fasting on ginger, tea, and water only video, and that kind of gives you the whole story. But basically, we're just looking at how do individual foods affect you and how can they make you feel? Can they be a staple for you? Can you eat them day after day? Do you get tired of them? Do they have weird effects on you? And what kind of effects do they have on you? So that's where we're at right now, and at the end of this challenge I'll be revealing my next 2-day food. But for now, I just want to say I'm so excited about this beef, and maybe I'll be completely wrong about it. Maybe it won't be the food that really nourishes me the way that I think it will, but that's kind of what I've been thinking, is this is going to be very nourishing. And going into this, I will say that I do feel very good. Like, I feel light, I feel very clear. I'm about 7 to 8 pounds down from what I was when I started this challenge about 9 days ago. So let's go ahead and take that first bite of beef. I'm going to show it to you, and so you can see here, this is the beef that I'm going to be eating, and this is the most simple, bland beef you could imagine. All it is 80% to 20% fat beef, and it was cooked in water. And that's probably the most healthy way to cook it, or the most healthful way to cook it, but it's very bland compared to what most people are used to probably, and of course there's no seasoning on it. But the fat is in there, so that's going to be good, I think. So we're going to go ahead and just see what we've got here. I'll take a small bite, and It's very plain, I will say that, but it does taste like the nourishing food I remember it to be. So we're going to see how that works out to be over the next couple of days, and I'll be updating you pretty soon here. Okay, here's a quick update. This is interesting, just the overall thoughts I'm having regarding eating beef. So you saw my first bite. After the first few bites, like it actually was way more savory because I was getting more fat on each bite, and so it tasted good. I didn't feel any need for salt. Even if I could have put salt on it, I don't know if I'd want to. But the main thing I have to say, especially about this 80-20% beef, is that it's very savory. I mean, I'm sorry, it's very savory, but it's also very, very rich, like super rich. So I thought I was going to be able to eat a whole pound. I was just thinking I'm going to eat twice a day, eat a pound at the beginning and then a pound later. I could only get about a half of a pound in, so that's probably about 600 or so calories. And yeah, that was plenty. I knew that if I ate more, that it would be too much and that I would probably suffer in some way as a result of it. So as of right now, I am feeling good. I'm having a state change, so there's definitely a mental state change happening, and I'm feeling maybe more relaxed, but yeah, my whole head just feels different. Like I said, it's not bad, but I want to really see this play out to see what it takes me to, and even what it's like to eat more beef later on today. But it's just so interesting, eating these foods on their own really has a profound effect on you, and they really make you feel so much different than each other. So for example, right now, just thinking back to the watermelon just tasted so amazing, but there were some downsides to it. I think the overall of it was this, that I didn't overall feel satisfied, meaning I felt like I was kind of missing something. So right now, I'm still early to say exactly how I'm feeling. Also, I've never eaten Well, I've only one time eating beef in the morning. Like that's just something I don't normally do, because I did eat beef with eggs one time before I went camping early in the day, just because I was thinking I wanted to be well nourished going into camping, and it just didn't sit with me to eat beef and eggs. And you know, it was a lot. I think I ate a pound plus some eggs or something that time, which was a whole lot. But I realized real quickly when I was eating this morning that I was like, when that point came when I was like, okay, this is enough, I don't have to eat this all now, I can save some for later. And I think that's going to be a good thing. But maybe tomorrow I might not eat until later in the day at all, because that's when I'm used to eating beef. But we'll see. One way or another, it's on. I have to say, I am so confused right now. I was just thinking that beef is going to be the most enjoyable thing, and I'm going to love it so much, and it's just going to be the best overall. But if I'm being honest, you know, it's definitely not the most enjoyable. Now, I'm not a person that believes that taste should guide what you eat, at least not completely. Meaning, I believe eating things that are good for you if they are good for you, even if they don't taste great. And like I said, this morning the beef I ate was okay, but I had some more. I had it cold, and I'm telling you, cold beef, I just didn't want to warm it up, but cold ground beef, especially the fatty part, is a really weird thing to eat. And maybe I could have waited till I was a little more hungry, but I wanted to just make sure I got enough calories in, which I haven't done yet. I mean, I haven't got enough calories for the day in. But it's just a weird irony, you know, that the thing that I would think would be the best and the most satisfying is kind of the hardest thing to eat right now. But I do feel pretty good. So, you know, I haven't had any major ups or major downs. I feel pretty steady, and my energy feels good. My body feels strong, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything. And so that was one thing I kind of expected from the beef, is that I wouldn't feel like I was missing anything. And so I really don't feel like I'm missing anything, meaning I don't have any kind of like anxiety about like, wow, I really need to eat something else, as much as like this is just not as pleasurable as I thought it was going to be. So I just want to let you know, it's just really confusing. It made me just think about all kinds of things like, oh my gosh, what does it mean if I'm not really drawn to this beef? But I also thought this, it would probably taste better if it was just steaks, and if they were like deep broiled or something, you know, maybe that would bring out more flavor and they'd be more enjoyable to eat. It's just ground beef, I've always thought was good. I usually eat it with a vegetable of some kind, but it's just not as satisfying as I thought it would be. And it's also, when it's cold, it's just literally like, it's like almost bitter or something, but it's like a very strange sensation to eat beef cold, and especially with the fatty parts. So I'm on the second day. I worked out this morning. I was stronger than before I started this whole series of 2-day eating challenges back to back. So I don't know if it's the beef, but my body is feeling very good today. And I kind of had a life-changing experience in the morning this morning. I felt like God showed me something about getting out of my head and into my body. And something to do with joy. It's probably for another video, because I could go on about that for a while. But I am feeling good right now, and I haven't had any beef today, but I do want to say that the second half of the day I had more beef. It was 85-15, 85 lean, 15% fat, and it tasted good to me, and it was kind of a lot to eat still, but the bottom line is that it didn't have the effect on me of making me feel like, oh my gosh, this is too much, and it tasted good. So maybe there's a readjustment to take something like that back into the body after having lower calorie, less dense foods. So the bottom line is that I'm going to still update you at the end of the day today, and I'm going to eat some beef pretty soon here. I'm feeling good. I'm down weight even more, which is interesting, and I was still as strong as I normally am, so that's something good. I slept really good last night, like better than I have for over a week. So maybe that's related to my body getting something it needed from the beef. All right, we're gonna wrap this beef only for 2 days challenge up. I wanna say this second day of eating beef only I felt really good all day. The beef didn't taste bad, meaning it tasted good. It did get a little boring to eat at some point, but I was able to get about 1,700 calories yesterday in beef and 1,500 calories today, which is more than I've had any day during the last 10 days now, which was a good thing. My nose was a little runny yesterday night after eating beef. I'm not sure why, but it wasn't runny at all today. I did have a little bit more salt water like I did on the watermelon day, and that was just a precaution because I had so little sodium over the last 10 days, and there is a little sodium in beef naturally, but basically I went with Chilla from Best Babe 007. That's her. To the sauna, and I sweated a lot, so I decided that it would probably be a good idea to have a little bit of Himalayan salt water. So I had 1/4 of a teaspoon of Himalayan salt in the water. This is the first challenge that I can say that I didn't feel anxious about having the challenge over. I didn't feel like I needed it to end so that I could get to the next food. So that shows me that beef is a sustainable food, even if it might not taste as amazing as like a watermelon does. It seems to be able to sustain you pretty well. Now I'm just going to tell you my next food, which I am excited about. My next food is a drink, and I'm going to be doing it for 2 days. And it is going to be this milk, whole milk. I'm going to be hopefully able to get the full amount of calories this time. And I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's actually going to work out good. And I have a lot of confidence that I'm going to feel good on it, but we'll just have to see, as usual. Did you have any questions you wanted to ask, Chilla?
No. When is this gonna be ending? The whole thing?
We don't know yet. We don't know for sure.
And how much did you lose so far?
Well, today I weighed less than ever. So when I weighed myself, I weighed in kilos, and it was 68 point something, which is the lowest I've been in like 2 years or something like that. So it's more than 8 pounds, but it could be close to 10 pounds at this point that I have lost during this challenge. So yeah, it's going to be good to go back to life normally, but I feel like this challenge has shown me so much and given me so much, and it has made me so thankful for little things. And I think I'm going to be so thankful when I go back to a normal way of eating for me that
no kidding.
It's going to be amazing. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Please continue to follow these challenges. Share this video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.